Hello everybody, Eric here from Bloat Games. Coming at you today to do a review video that I promised in my last video. Today, we're going to be doing a review of The Hero's Journey by James M. Spahn, Barrel Rider Games. Now, like I kind of mentioned before, as you can tell, this cover is very reminiscent of The Hobbit. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I love that. I love a lot of the products that James has put out, and as a shocker, this one's no different. So let's take a peek inside. Before we do that, check out this cool artwork there. Recognize that face? I sure do. Alright, so just to let you know what this is, James has done a lot of work for white box supplements. So he done like the white box omnibus, you know, a ton of things for swords and wizardry compatible stuff, and this is also swords and wizardry compatible. But this, to me, what this represents is this is kind of like going from basic Dungeons and Dragons to advanced Dungeons and Dragons. It's not that big of a leap, so don't get scared off by that. But you'll notice some things in here that aren't in the standard swords and wizardry, and that makes for a good thing. This gives this a very unique feel, a different tone, while keeping it old school and very familiar as far as the rule set. So a couple things to know right off the bat. In this book, you get plenty of races. Alright, you got the dwarf, the elf, the half-elf, the halfling, the half-orc, and the human, all as playable races. So right off the bat, a lot of people are excited, right? Check out this list of classes that James included. Alright, you're going to get the acrobat, the barbarian, the bard, the cavalier, the cleric, the druid, the duelist, the fighter, the jester, the monk, the paladin, ranger, thief, and wizard. All included in here. So let me crack it open and I'll kind of walk you through it real quick. There's a lot to review in this one, so I don't want to talk too long because I know that this video could go on forever. Something you need to know about the attributes. All right, you got your strength, intelligence, willpower, constitution, dexterity, charisma, appearance, and luck. So you know, luck is kind of the an updated mechanic that you see appearing a lot as far as an attribute. Appearance, obviously, that's like the old school comeliness. So you get all of those right there. Your bonus modifiers for a modifier, or for an attribute of 3, you get a -2. For an attribute of 4 through 6, you get a -1. 7 through 14 is considered normal, no bonus. 15 through 17, +1. 18, +2. Alright, so that stuff's really cool. You also get professions in this, and now your professions are going to dictate a couple things. One, it's going to give you certain skills, and it's also going to dictate how much your starting gold is. All right, it's kind of your backstory. It's kind of taking or following the lead of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And he has quite a few in here. In fact, I haven't counted them all up, but here, I'll just give you as quick as I can. The armorer, bowyer, cartographer, cook, farmer, fisherman, forester, gambler, groom, hunter, jeweler, mason, miner, navigator, sailor, scribe, tailor, tanner, teamster, trapper, urchin, weaponsmith, woodworker, unskilled, and nobility. So all that is going to be, you know, as far as what professions you can have pre-character generation. All right. Alignments, kind of your standard alignments. All right, you got your lawful characters and your good characters, your chaos characters, evil characters, and neutral. So you got all that right off the bat. Let me show you how the book's laid out, because you haven't got to see inside yet. So there's 2 versions of this book available. I got mine through Lulu. This is the color version. There's also a black and white version. They're both hardcover. It is very easy to see. He has a ton of art in here. A lot of it's done by Larry Elmore. I mean, so you know, we're going back, getting the classic feel. He has sections kind of like, let's see, get this open, kind of like this section here. gonna be like the house rule section. Okay, so he has these little blue charts that pop out and say, okay, this is what you may want to do. That's different from what the rules say. Also, very first chapter says if you don't like a rule, change it. So definitely following with the old school feel. And then there's a ton of information as far as the classes go. Like I said, when I read you that big list, there are a ton of classes, and they each have their own level progression and stuff like that. When you get past the classes, you're going to go straight into the equipment, and in the equipment you're going to find your pretty normal standard equipment list for this type of OSR game. And so but he goes into even stuff like the transportation, got the different things like that: range weapons, melee weapons, armor, hiring and firing assistants and hirelings, which is always very important. Gaining experience. Gain experience the same way that you do in traditional swords and wizardry. You kill something, you get an experience. And then there's a couple other non-combat things that you can do to gain experience. All right, so like player accurately role plays their character's class and race. Player character attempts to potentially life-threatening act of heroism, and he's got player character takes the role of the treasure keeper, which is optional. So just all of that type of stuff. So he's got different things in here. Like I said, it's kind of like updating and bringing swords and wizardry into the new millennium. He goes through. He's got your traditional information about time, movement, combat. He walks you through. This is probably, I don't have time to go through it right now, but it's probably one of the best combat sections that I've ran across in books. James does a great job at laying out and making everything very concise, very easy to see. He's got both ascending and descending armor class. So for you Thaco lovers, it's there. For everyone else, ascending is there, so you'll be able to play exactly what you want. All right. Then it goes through, got stuff about negotiation, diplomacy, poisons, all that good stuff. Then you hit the spells and magic section. Now, let me show you this page, just because all the chapters have these really cool, like, chapter headers. Really dig the artwork. And just the whole book is all professionally done. I love the way it looks. All your major hitters are going to be here. You're not going to find anything shortcoming. You are going to find a few surprises as far as the magic and stuff. But it's going to be your standard magic section. Then it goes into running the game, and this is kind of a great information all for game masters, especially newer game masters. If you haven't done it before, you'll find this chapter quite helpful. It goes into monsters. There's a full miniature monsters manual included in the book, and as you can see, not every piece has, or not every monster has art, but they all do have a description and full stat block for you. So, and there's enough in here to get you going for a while. They also have dragons, which a lot of times get overlooked in the Swords and Wizardry supplements. At least the third-party supplements or the retro clones. So they're in here. Dark elves are in here. Some creatures that you may be looking for. They may have a new name. I won't call anything out, but they're in here. All right. So you get past this, and like I said, the monster section pretty darn large. So you're not going to run across the same thing twice unless you're just happen to be in that area. Then it gets into, it's got the treasures and items and magic item section. It's got great tables for creating random magic items, things like that, and how to go about doing that. It's also got several like pre-generated magic items that you can look into. like greater rings of protections, miscellaneous magic items. It's got this monster, super useful mega chart to where you can go through and roll and, you know, randomly determine on the fly, you know, what your characters have. It's also got the deck of many things completely laid out. I love that. Love that. So once you get past all the treasure and magic items, I believe the only thing that's left, let me see, I want to say is the OGL. My memory serves me correct. Yep. When you get back, you got your standard OGL, and then Mr. Gygax approvingly looking on the back. Alright, guys, so I know I flew through this. I may do a future video where I maybe break down different sections and stuff like that. If you have any questions, please ask me. I'll be more than happy to you know, talk about this book. This is a great product. As much as I talk about Charlie Mason's White Box Fantastic Medieval Adventure Game book, that is my basic D&D that I want to play, and this is my advanced Dungeons and Dragons that I want to play. I really want to, if I can get some time, to write a setting for this, you know, setting source book. It's a great book, a great product. Everybody should own it. I can't recommend this one high enough. There's some that I recommend to you that I recommend. Pick it up. This one you should have in your collection. Again, it's by James M. Spahn, Barrel Rider Games, The Hero's Journey. Thank you, guys. Take it easy.